For the second time in 3 months, Donald Trump was the target of an assassination attempt, but this time the Secret Service was able to subdue the gunman before he fired a shot. But this hasn't alleviated any of the fears about political violence in this country. It's getting worse, and we're acting like there's nothing to it, like this is okay, like this is normal. It's not normal, ladies and gentlemen. I've got Ring of Fire's Farron Cousins with me to talk about it. The most disturbing thing, I got to tell you, as I read these stories, is the idiots, these talking head idiots on cable news, basically cable news, whether it's Fox, whether it's CNN, MSNBC, hell, now it's gotten into traditional corporate media. This ain't a big thing. This is nothing to it. He was 500 yards away. He was 5 football fields away. He only took one shot. It's like the same bullshit we heard when Trump was almost shot in the head. Okay, we've got, whether you like the guy, I'm not voting for Trump. No way I'm voting for the guy, but we're talking about an important part of democracy here. When you have these idiots, these talking heads that show up on the scene and say, there's nothing to this, there's nothing to see here, it's infuriating to me. And not only that, it is such a threat to the democratic process in this country. We don't kill people who we disagree with.
Exactly. Look, I don't disagree with you on any of that at all. And I do think that obviously this time was different because the Secret Service was paying attention. Had they not been paying attention, it wouldn't have mattered if it was 500 yards away, 200, 150, because he would have kept getting closer. I mean, the Secret Service, through almost a miracle, you could call it, saw the barrel of a gun sticking out from a bush. I wouldn't recognize that. No. And because they did, they were able to get him. He ran. They chased him down. You had the local cops helping as well. But to me, part of this story that is driving me crazy, the more we learn about this guy, is this is somebody that should not have been a free citizen in this country. This is a man that should have been locked behind bars at least as early as the 90s, possibly going back to the 1980s. When you listen to the police in North Carolina where he lived, tell the stories about, oh yeah, we had an armed standoff with him this time. We had another armed standoff with him here. He had weapons of mass destruction.
Never spent one day in jail. Has never been to jail one day for any of this stuff. And all the talking head idiots on the cable cabal is what it's become. A damn cable cabal of talking idiots get on the scene and say, oh, well, this is just crazy statements. Like, if I have to hear Joy Reid use the word existential threat one more time, all the talking heads, everything's an existential threat. He's Hitler. He's going to destroy democracy. He's never going to leave if we elect him president. That has an effect, whether we want to agree with it or not. Again, I am not voting for the guy. I think he's a nutcase. But this kind of talk that's accepted by just run-of-the-mill Democrats who say this is the new norm, and it's okay for people like Wallace or Joy Reid to go on the air and equate him to Hitler, and if he's elected, that we're going to lose democracy, that he won't leave office if he's there. I mean, I could go on forever. And we want to say this is no big deal. This isn't important. 25 years ago, if there had been an assassination attempt on a past president or presidential candidate, this place would be going crazy. Tune on MSNBC right now. Tune on CNN. See how many times they try to downplay this like it ain't a problem. It's a hell of a problem. It's a fundamental part of democracy that we should allow people to state an opinion, whether we agree with it or not, and not go out and friggin' kill them because we disagree with them. That's where we are in this democracy right now. And you know what? Democrats, just like Republicans, are all part of it.
We had a time in this country, most of the history of this country, when you had any kind of, tragedy or almost tragedy, whatever you want to call it here, everybody came together. I mean, we saw it after natural disasters. Right. We saw it after 9/11, of course. And I think a lot of that really changed after Hurricane Katrina, because that was a natural disaster where everybody should have come together. But instead of that, there was a lot of finger pointing. And I will say rightfully so. We had massive government failures with that.
Yeah.
And then ever since then, every disaster, every response has become more and more polarized. The BP, Deepwater Horizon disaster was polarizing. You had people defending BP, people defend. So we all became more and more tribal over the years to the point now where you have plenty of people right now saying, well, it happened because this guy is actually a Republican and he was sick of Trump and wanted him out. And others say, no, he supported and gave money to Democrats. That's why he hates Trump.
That's the talking point.
It doesn't
Can you
matter
imagine?
who he is.
Here's a picture of the sticker on back of his truck. It says Biden and Harris. That's the talking point. And these idiots, I swear to God, I have to turn the television off when I see Joy Reid come in or Wallace or any of those people start talking about this stuff. And if I have to hear existential threat to democracy one more time, he went through 4 years as president, okay? There was none of that happened. January 6th is an issue we have to talk about, but it's not like turning democracy on top of its head. And you would think these folks on cable news, the cable news cabal, are scaring the shit out of everybody to where it's time, let's go kill the guy. That's why this is happening. And they're talking about, well, is he a Democrat? Is he a Republican? Who the hell cares?
He's a crazy person.
He's a crazy person that threatened the life of an ex-president, okay? And we act like that's no big thing because it's Trump. How much time do we spend on this network where you blast Trump every single day, 5 times a day? We do that for a reason, right?
Yeah.
We do it because we believe that. Have you ever said it's a good idea to go out and shoot the son of a bitch? Has that ever happened? Of course not. Have you ever glorified the idea of a guy like this going out and taking a shot, potentially killing an ex-president?
absolutely not.
Of course not. But right now on cable news, it's all Trump's fault. Trump has brought all this on himself. You know what? There's some truth to that, but you cannot ignore these idiots on corporate cabal news that are pumping this up to where we don't even have anything that looks like a friggin' democracy when we can say that we put on Liz Cheney, great example. How in the hell have we started embracing people like Liz Cheney, who was nothing more than an extension of Daddy, who was a psychopath war criminal, okay? Who pumped him up after he killed thousands of people in Iraq for no good reason, lied us into a war. Weapons of mass destruction was his lie. And his idiot daughter is out there extending that argument like saying, we got to get tough, we got to get tough. She's one of the talking heads. She's one of the people that go this far to saying, go kill the guy. I mean, if you listen to her language, it's ugly language. And the Democrats, hell, they've embraced her. You know, she's like one of us right now. Really? She's not one of me.